What if you could build vector search completely on Postgres using Tembo Cloud? A few weeks back, we showed you how to do just that by first generating your embeddings, then storing them inside of Postgres using the public OpenAI embeddings endpoint. Now that looks a little bit like this. I have a user. That user can then make a request or a query to Postgres. Then Postgres will go out and hit the public OpenAI embeddings endpoint over the network. Now, what if I don't want my data to leave the confines of Postgres and my Tembo account? Well, today we're going to look at a new approach that looks similar to this, where the user can make a request, then Postgres can go and leverage the internal Tembo Cloud embeddings endpoint to generate the embeddings. This way, our data is secure and never leaves the confines of our Tembo account. So let's get started here by first navigating over to Tembo Cloud on cloud.tembo.io. And the first thing that we'll have to do here is we'll have to create a new VectorDB stack Postgres instance. And in order to do that, you'll want to click on the Create Instance button. I already have one here made specifically for this demo. And the next thing that we'll want to do is connect via pSQL. So I'll go and copy the string, and then I'll go over to my CLI, and we can then hit enter, and then we are now connected to our new instance. And then the first thing that we'll need in order to actually do vector search is some data. So I have a table here that is pre-filled with a bunch of random popular brands with a name, an ID, and a description. And then the next few things that we'll have to do is set up our vector search via the pgvectorize Postgres extension. So the first SQL commands that we'll have to run here to set this up is vectorize.table from the pgvectorize extension. I'll specify my job name. I'll call that brands_search. And then we'll specify the table. This is the table that we actually want to do our vector search on. In this case, I call mine brands. And then we'll specify the primary key. In this case, it'll obviously be an ID. And then the columns that I actually want to search on. So that is going to be the brand name and the description. And then the more interesting thing here is the transformer. This is the model that's running inside of Tembo Cloud that will actually go and generate our embeddings for us. So I can then hit enter. That's going to instantiate the job. And then now I can actually do my search. Now, before we actually run our vector search, I want to quickly show you how you can find the service URL for how we're actually generating our embedding. So in order to actually see that, you'll run a command here called show vectorize.embedding_service_URL. If we run that, that will actually show us our URL here. All right, so now we can actually search over our data. So I'll actually run the vectorize.search SQL command here. We'll again specify our job name, and then here the important part, which is the query. So I'll say fashion and cars, and then I want to return the columns ID and brand name, and then I'll limit the number of results to 3. I'll hit enter, and now boom, we got our vector search completely on Postgres. So I get Adidas, Mercedes-Benz. So that looks accurate. So yeah, guys, that was vector search 100% on Postgres. If you want to give this a try for yourself, you can head over to cloud.tembo.io and let us know what you think.